Legend of Total War here, and today we've got a saving and disaster battle playing as Avalon, going up against Wintertooth, where this guy has made possibly the worst army I've ever seen for High Elves, especially going up against this particular army here. So he's got Alistair the White Lion and a spam of Lion Chariots of Krace, which they're not bad units, but when you spam them, this is a one-trick pony basically. It is only able to take out infantry. They're really bad at taking out large units, especially single entities. And most of the enemy units here are large units, and a huge portion of their balance of power is large. So yeah, he would have been way better off just going off with the infantry version of the White Lion heavy infantry. We would have actually had no problem, I think, rolling it right over this. And he's got some artillery in the army, which that's obviously there for siege attacker, but this is a terrible army composition because these guys here need someone to protect them, and chariots are not supposed to be used as a frontline unit, so it's just terrible. And also, why do you even want to use siege attacker? Chariots are the fucking worst to assault settlements, so it's just not taking anything into consideration here. Anyway, so it's on hard battle difficulty. I'm going to bump it up to very hard. And we'll try to find some way to win this. I guess. It's just, oh my god. Like, even if it's just one army versus one army, your army is just so bad against this. It's only going to be good against enemies that are like entirely comprised of infantry. So maybe early game Skaven it would do alright against, but once they start getting monsters it wouldn't do very well. Dwarves it would do reasonably well against, unless they've got flying units. So, if you're going to get, like, a chariot spam, it's best to go with the, I can't remember if it's Tiranoc or Ithalmar chariot, whichever one provides the missile attack, that's the one you want to go for. Because that way you've got your anti-large compensated with their missile attack. But yeah, we don't have that with this. Now, obviously, he only boosts White Lion units, so that's what he's going for, but yeah, he would have been a much better army actually building a balanced army of just going like, say, 60% White Lions of Krace and then having the Lion Chariots of Krace to sort of back up to deal with the infantry. Because yeah, the White Lions of Krace units, they'll actually do reasonably well against large units. But, you know, it is what it is. At least you're the attacker in the scenario, so that gives us a little bit of wiggle room to maybe draw some of their forces away before they start rushing at us. The top priority that we need to get rid of is anything particularly quick. See, the Lion Chariots of Krace, their speed is 82, so we'll easily outrun most of their units, but what they'll do is they'll send their Marauder Horsemen to pin us down, or the Skin Wolves to pin us down, and that's how they'll get us. Right, if we use anything to shoot them, then they will rush at us. So what I want to do is have basically all of our forces charge in on this, either Skin-Wolved Armors or these guys over here. Skin-Wolved Armored, sorry. And try to get rid of them as early as we can before they start moving towards us. Another thing that works against us here is that this map is very small, and obviously the bigger the map, the better that cavalry or fast units will operate. Although we do have one pretty big advantage here with this one, Unending Volley. So this one, I think, has the best opportunity for taking out the single entities. That's it. We want to draw them in. Thing is, though, her overall damage output per shot is not really that high. So draw them in. So what we want to do, because the Marauder Horsemen are faster than us, we need to feign a withdrawal, sort of, so that we can surround them and cut them off. Really need them to go in deep while these ones here cut them off. If there's any room for them to escape, then we're not going to catch them. Alright, she's got regen, so... Oh, and also anti-large in melee. So should be okay. But yeah, just don't use the missile attack just yet, because that'll cause the rest of their army to come at us, and we don't want that. Since we can't catch them, it might be worth it for us to just sort of waste their ammo. Just because I don't have any other way of getting them. Except for using them, but again, if I shoot at them, then the rest of their army's going to start charging at us. We don't want that just yet. You also don't have a healer on the army, which a chariot-based army could really benefit from a life wizard. We don't have a wizard at all. So yeah, in order for us to have any hope of beating skin wolves with chariot units, we have to just completely overwhelm them. Okay. Some opportunities are possibly starting to form for us to get around here and cut them off from the rest of their army. Because the small map is actually a disadvantage for their cavalry as well. Also, the closer we get without actually engaging with them, the more damage they're going to do to us. With that, that one's annoying. But I can't do that much about it right now. How quick are you? Speed 87. You. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't shoot. Come on. Get it to actually engage. See, they're doing absolutely buttloads of damage to us, and I just can't catch them. Couldn't catch them. Trying to get this one cut off. But yeah, staying really close to them like that while they're shooting at us, that's entirely to their advantage. That's why we're going to back off, so that they're significantly less accurate. But we've got this one cut off now. This is a Marauder Horse Master. So this one would have done a lot of damage to us. Yep. But once it's out of ammo, then it shouldn't be a concern for us. They still haven't advanced on us yet, so that's good. But yeah, but once we're actually in melee with them, that's not so bad. So each one of our guys has 6,500 health. So if that's done 3,000 damage, nearly 4,000, they've nearly wiped out a full unit. But like I said, we're going to struggle with units like this. Where we're going to gain balance of power is on their infantry. Good. I don't think that Marauder Horsemaster did particularly well. This one's almost out of ammo. Got some missile resistance, so that definitely helps. Alright, how about the two of you come over here. That was good. Try to kill that dude.
Moving out. Scale. Sisters with me. It shall be done.
Alright, good. Yeah, we're always going to struggle against them. They've still got one more Marauder Horse unit throwing axes. Come on, hit dirt. Nope. Alright. Alright, we should have no trouble killing this one, because that's not a great melee fighter. Alright, our chariots are getting a little bit tired. This is a good opportunity to let them rest, because fatigue is very important for them. Balance of power has improved a fair bit. But yeah, the big problem here is taking out the single entities. Not so much this one, but the actual dangerous and melee single entities, like Throg. So, having her spend an hour regenerating ammunition to shoot them, could do it. Rather not have to do that, though. Good, we recovered our fatigue fairly quickly. Now, we took out all the fast units on this flank. There are some over on this flank over here. If we could take out this Marauder Horseman unit, that's going to be a big advantage for us. And if we could get rid of this one without having to... Oh, hang on. Was that stalking? Yeah, that one's stalking. Without this one here having to dish out loads of damage to us, that would be great. If I could manage that. Which we caught them. That's good. Good, because this one's only done 1,000 damage, so a quarter of what the other one did. And yeah, make sure we escort that one off the battlefield. Alright, the skin wolves over here, they've done a bit of damage, but again, they're anti-large monster units. We're weak against them in this with this army. Okay, this one here has suffered quite a lot of health damage, but no actual casualties. It might be a good idea to leave it out of the rest of the fight, at least for the time being. Maybe get some control groups going.
Battle ready. It shall be done.
So, units that I don't want to use anymore, I'm going to put that in control group 3. So, can they hide in the forest? Yes, they can. So, I'm going to put this one over here, and hopefully they'll just forget about it for the rest of the battle. Oh, that's another thing we could do. If we want to preserve our balance of power, the best thing we can do is not use our Eager Claw Bolt Throwers. Put them in over here.
Without question.
That means we won't be able to use them. But yeah, it's also important they stay on the artillery, because if we drop them... Like, let me just show you.
Acknowledged.
No, it wasn't worth enough balance of power to make a difference, but it does drop the balance of power when you drop them.
Without fail.
Anyway, bring them in over here. So, because these artillery, they can hide in the forest. Yeah, don't fire at will. We'll hide them over here so that they can't attack it. Because, yeah, trying to defend them is just so fucking pointless. As I've said so many times before, you don't sacrifice 80% of your army to save 10% of it. Or 90% of your army to save 10%. You sacrifice the 10% to save the 90%. So that's what I'm doing here. We're sacrificing them, just not using them. And this one here is just so that on the campaign map, it doesn't take so long to recover. Alright. We've taken out all the Marauder Horsemen, so that's good. Just waiting for them to get over here before we send in the Handmaiden and let her recover some fatigue as well. And it may be a good time to start shooting at... I think the Skinwolf Werekin would be the best one to get rid of, because it's their fastest remaining unit, unless there's something hidden. Now, they might still check over here for us, and if that's the case, we just withdraw them from the battlefield. But yeah, it's just preserving balance of power so that we can inflict the army losses. Alright, they're hidden now, so let's bring her in. She also got the Reaver Bow, which that's good against infantry, which shouldn't really be that big of a concern for us. But let's use it on the... Let's see. Probably the Marauder Hunters would be the most dangerous unit against us. Everything else should be easy. I don't think that's particularly good against single entities, so we don't really want to use that. Good amount of damage there. Alright, now... Start shooting. Yeah, there we go. Could just put her on fire at will. Oh, that's right. I was going to go for the Skinwolf Werekin. Don't want her on fire at will, shooting at these ones over here. So far, so good. Alright, now the next thing we need to do is get their units to separate from each other. I'd be very surprised if these stayed here for the rest of the battle. I'd be very bloody surprised. Because, yeah, the map just isn't big enough for us to run around them without also luring them over here. Bit of an issue here. Good idea. If we hide these ones here in the forest, they might split up and look for us in all of the different forest zones. In which case, they'll get us over here. But we need to divide up their army. We can't just charge it head first, because there's just too many dangerous single entities that will destroy us on the approach. This guy here is definitely going to be a problem. But what we can do is punch through the rest of their units. They've given up on us because they forgot about our existence. That's good. So currently... Hang on. We actually... Hang on. Got a couple of units that aren't hidden. Alright, try to get out of here. Before we get stuck there. So just hoping this one here might run away. Run over to here, that is. Yeah, that sucks when that happens.
We go.
So get left behind. Sure, stay away from that mammoth. Good. They did exactly what I wanted them to do. Because yeah, we can beat that. That's no problem. Their infantry are not a concern. So yeah, punch through the Marauder champions. That is not a big deal at all. That's it. Alright, good. We got through that. Get over there. Okay, don't stick around to find out with him. You need to come over here. We've got to keep shooting this one. He's recovered his health, which I kind of expect that we're going to have to get through all of that one's regen. It's catching up to us, despite the fact that we're technically faster than it, and it's tired. But luckily it didn't do any damage. Nice dodge. Good thing we've got regenerating ammo with that one. So that one's leadership is really high, very high combat stats and anti-large. Yeah, making that a big threat to us. And it's large, but it's small enough that we just keep missing with our shot here. Whereas the mammoths are a lot easier to hit. She's anti-large as well, but her overall combat stats aren't as good as the Skin Wolf. It would be quicker to kill her. Sorry, kill that one in melee. Maybe that's what I should do. It's far enough away from the rest of their army, and if we send these ones in to help as well, that might just cut it. Not if I keep getting hit in the back like that. This is going well here because it's all just charging through the infantry, doing a ton of damage. That's exactly what we want to see. Keep that balance of power as high as possible so we can inflict the army losses. Alright, we're trading reasonably well here. Thing is, if I beat this one in melee, I won't have to use as much ammo. They are doing a fair bit of damage to us actually because we keep getting stuck. Also, you've got the Ring of Corin. Let's pop that down on... Probably not Throg, just because Throg will just regenerate it. Put it on the Norscan Giant. Check for the female warriors. Okay, lure this one back around over here. Probably going to get hit. No, we're okay. Because yeah, if we can kill it quickly enough, that might actually work.
Yes. Sisters, with me.
Right, here we go. Because yeah, her overall combat stats definitely not as good as the Skin Wolf. But if the chariots come in and assist and we just cause it to rout, that'll be really good. Good, hasn't done that much damage, and it's like kind of wavering, but it's still got very high leadership. Right, now they're kind of getting in the way of our heroes and got us pinned down. If these ones get over here, big problem. Right, so don't stick around then. We traded well against it. Just accept the win and don't overcommit. And we'll deal with that one again later. We've got to stay away from them. We cannot be going into melee with the mammoths. Even though the mammoths are anti-infantry, their melee attack is actually not that high, but it only takes like one hit to destroy an entire chariot. Unfortunately, that guy there can still regenerate all of his health. So it would be good if we got an opportunity to to finish the job before he's regenerated. It'll take him a little while to do so.
Moving forward.
But I'd rather he doesn't get a chance to use that regen. But I've got to get him away from the rest of those units. There's no other way. These Fimir warriors, we can beat them easily enough if we isolate them from the rest of their single entities. Alright. Okay, this is working. Yep, maybe. It's good to see him tired. How much damage has that done? Not much, that's good.
Handmaiden.
At least it won't be able to regenerate to full health now. Its max regen bar is shown.
Prince of Ulthuan. Yes. By Alariel. Loyal guardian.
Yeah, get them away while we deal with this over here. This is good.
Protection. Handmaiden of the Everqueen. Shield.
Alright, there we go. Oh, why did you push him over there for? That was stupid.
Maiden guard.
Fucking line chariots.
Slay them. Understood.
Ever vigilant. Oriah! For order!
King and country.
Good. With it being killed, with only having done 3,000 damage, because that's one of the higher threat units to us in this battle. That's really good, because that means that this unit here didn't trade well against us. Good, it's dead. Really, really good there.
Right away.
I might actually bring out my artillery once we've gotten rid of all of their infantry, and we'll see if we can get some shots in on Throg, if we absolutely have to. Alright, you come back over here as well. We've still got another Ring of Corin. Which, you know, that did a pretty decent amount of damage. Would be good to recover our fatigue as well, as much as possible. Does take a long time to regenerate ammo, so I'm not going to rely on that one too much in this battle. Because I think it's gone pretty damn well so far. We've taken out a lot of the units that I was most worried about, that were going to like pin us down and cause the mammoths to catch up to us and kill us. Now, because it takes so long for us to regenerate ammo, we need to make sure we're shooting at specific targets. So going for the mammoth, even though Throg is weak against fire, it's just that the mammoth is not able to regenerate. Good. Isolated somewhat unit of Marauder Spears. Should have no trouble taking them out with the line chariots, while the rest of their army is chasing after them. That's really good for us.
Battle ready. Moving out.
It's good to see their forces also quite tired now as well.
Sister of Avalon.
This unit here is quite badly damaged. I'm going to put in Control Group 3 soon.
Moving forward.
You know what? I will shoot at Throg, because I guess the ammunition on him would do more damage technically. And even if he's going to regenerate, we can potentially use up his regen this way, so that if we do have to go into melee with him, he's not quite as strong. And he's probably worth more than a mammoth, because he's also anti-large.
Can I be praised?
Not too concerned about female warriors. Alright, speed that up a little bit. Still need them some time to recover their fatigue. Good. This is good. Because, yeah, then they come in, smash them. So, yeah, Throg is recovering too quickly, so it's just about getting rid of his maximum regen, because he can only regenerate 75% of his max health. So that'd be about just under 7,000 health, I think.
Stand with me.
To battle!
This is good. Bounce power's looking good as well. Get rid of that one. Yep, all good. Yeah, don't lure them over here. Oh, I did say I would put this one here in control group 3. Hopefully I'm not going to lure them into here. I reckon they'll forget about it, but yeah, let's put it in there.
Handmaiden of the Ever-Queen.
Okay, running low on ammo there. Good, so far, no casualties done to us. That's a big benefit. But yeah, I'm still questioning whether or not it's the right call to be shooting at Thrall. Because we could just army loss him and be done that way. But what happens if we don't army loss him? That's the big question here. I think we're well on track to do so, though. Alright, again, we just got to isolate these infantry units. Which, they are isolating themselves, that's good. Every now and again. Go get them. There's only 4 infantry units left that I can see, unless some are hidden, which I don't think they've got stalk. Good. Good, smashing their infantry. So, they'll only have 1 unit of infantry left. So the infantry, they were mostly just helpful for us to hit so that we can actually inflict the army losses on the enemy. We should be getting fairly close to inflicting it on them. Charging into melee here would be the worst thing that we could do. Because we won't trade well, and then we won't inflict the army losses, and all we'll end up with is a bunch of dead units. But if I could isolate one of their single entities, maybe we could think about taking it out. Probably not the giant. Okay, we've still got that Ring of Corin. Let's get in over here and use it. I did also say that we could bring out the artillery again.
Advance! At your command. Restoring order.
Still haven't gotten through Throg's regen yet. Okay, I did say that maybe we shouldn't prioritize the killing the giant, but it's isolating itself from the rest of the pack. Okay, I'm going to bring the artillery out over here. I'm going to try to shoot it. No, get over here. Giant piece of shit. Come on, let's go. Okay, got him. Now I just need to lure it over. Which, they're not taking the bait. There they are. It's good. Bring them over. And you guys need to keep the rest of their army out over here as long as possible without getting hit, preferably. Maybe going too fast. Okay, let's start shooting with that. You getting any hits in? A little bit. Good. They're not trying to rush at our artillery. That's great. Okay, since we're using our artillery to shoot at the giant, tell her to stop firing. Because I think the artillery can just handle that. That way she can just start regenerating some more ammo so that we can take out something else. The closer we get, the better, the more accurate they're going to be. We don't want it to get too close, or else it'll start killing the artillery. But yeah, it looks like we're going to get that giant. That's really good. So just keep luring it within a good zone to attack for us to shoot it, but not for it to be enticed to actually go and attack us. Good, giant down. Alright, now, one more mammoth. Let's see if we can bring a mammoth, or even just anything over here. Just one unit, that is. Femur, that's fine. I'll accept that. keep baiting it over. That's it. Right, you may fire at will. Okay, restored a decent amount of ammo. I guess you can fire at will. But yeah, we're actually getting quite good value out of the artillery, which I wasn't expecting to do in this battle. Got to keep their attention away from here. Because yeah, once the artillery have used up all their ammo, which as far as I'm concerned, they've already done their worth because they've taken out a really high value unit, being the giant. I'm fine with withdrawing them from the battlefield now. But, you know, let's try to use up all of their ammo. Okay, there's no value of the actual troops themselves staying here. They're worth next to nothing, so they're fine to leave. Almost got rid of these Fimir. Good. Okay, hold your... Okay, cool. So 2 units almost fully wiped out by the artillery on their own. That's great. I mean, obviously, this one here helped a bit. Still no army losses, just because their best units are still in play. I think it was maybe a little bit of a mistake to shoot at Throg. Because I reckon if we could just get a few more hits in on these mammoths, we might just be able to inflict the army losses on them. Because, yeah, like I said, the chariot units, we're just going to trade poorly in this situation here. So that's actually doing a fair bit of damage to Throg. Alright, get it off the battlefield. Cool, no casualties. I'm pretty happy with the amount of damage they did. Nothing spectacular, but it's fine. Sea Legend, it was good that he had them. We were fucking lucky that that worked. That was really risky. Still haven't got to his max regen. But, on the plus side, that one's isolated. That's good. That's just a basic Marauder unit, though. So, not exactly a hell of a lot of value. I doubt that's going to cause the army losses on its own. So we've still retained the vast majority of our balance of power. Most of our balance of power loss was actually the artillery being spent. But it really did help us a great deal in taking out the giant and the Fimir. I do think we're really close. All I got to do is maybe a few shots on the Feral Mammoth. Or Throg. Get his health down. The thing is, yeah, every hit point that he regenerates, he regains balance of power. And like I said, if we just charge in here, we probably would win. But we would definitely suffer a lot of damage. And that was alright. Alright, I got an idea. I'm going to try to lure Throg away. And I will charge in on the Feral Mammoths, because their melee attack is way lower than his. We might actually do okay. He's not interested. Oh, damn it, they got a hit in. But they didn't destroy any of them. Oh, hang on, this is good. Oh, no, it wasn't. Wasn't enough. Need them to separate themselves, which that could work. Maybe. Nope. They got the better of us there. Come on. Gotta get them separated. Can't justify charging in on them unless they're away from the rest of their pack. They tired? Only Throg's tired. Okay. There we go. There's the army losses. Cool. Did it. Cool, well, I'll try to run them down, but I think they're too close to the edge of the map, so I don't think either of them are going to be run down. That being said, they get wiped out anyway, but it will give us more loot and experience if we could kill them. Anyway, I'll pause the recording as I sort that out. Okay, I actually managed to kill one of the mammoths, but the other two single entities got away. But overall, I think it's a pretty good result. I mean, 0 casualties. All the damage was recovered, and that's why I took those units out of the fight when they looked like they were pretty close to suffering a casualty. So you're pretty good in the campaign map. But Alistair obviously took some damage because he doesn't have regen. This one here does. I don't know what's causing it, whether it be an item or whatever, but you could always just, if it is an item, hand it over to Alistair. Anyway, that'll all be wiped out. And even if it wasn't, you'd easily be able to beat it again with what you've got. Some anti-large on Alistair will definitely come in handy. It's a good defeat trait, that one. So looking at this, what have you got that's giving you regen? How are you doing that? Medic, that's what's doing it. So it's your trait. Fair enough. Well, you can't transfer that over. Overall, you got some really good equipment on her. She was very useful in that battle. And yeah, my recommendation is, yeah, get a Sun Dragon as quickly as you can. And I would get the regular White Lion units. So that would be, let's see, are they available from this one? These ones here, White Lions of Crace. Because I think they only take 1 turn to recruit. So you should be able to globally recruit them in 1 turn if you've got Tyrion with reduced global recruit time. Whereas the Lions of Crace unit is actually a tier 4 unit. I think they take 2 turns to recruit. But yeah, you can buff their stats by an absolute ridiculous amount. And they're a lot cheaper. But yeah, if you go up against anything with a lot of large units, you basically are forced to do a battle like that. Which I imagine that most people don't want to fight battles like that. It's not fun. And it's difficult because you have to be constantly vigilant. You can't just charge in and hope to win. And it's bad in auto resolve as well. Like, that should have been able to win, just in terms of sheer value, but it didn't. Anyway, that's the end of this one here, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. Appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. Later, guys.